A Northwest Missouri man is behind bars, charged with second-degree murder. Good evening, I'm Melinda Barrett. What began as a missing persons investigation in Trenton has turned into an ongoing homicide investigation. 54-year-old John Vincel was missing for several days before his body was discovered in Sullivan County, Missouri.
The body was in the vehicle that belonged to the victim, and it had been dumped and was partially submerged in a farm pond.
The investigation started on the evening of Friday, July 5th in Trenton, Missouri.
I had cops knock on my door at 10 o'clock at night, and they wanted to know if my neighbors over here were coming home soon.
24-year-old Jamison Reed of Trenton, a business associate of the victim, admitted to shooting Vincel in the 2300 block of Speedway Avenue in Trenton and then dumping the body in a farm pond.
We made contact with the suspect, Mr. Reed. Mr. Reed later gave us a confession, led us to the body in a remote part of Sullivan County.
During the investigation, law enforcement made 2 arrests.
We released one male who we believe did not have any part in the initial portion of the homicide.
The suspect, Reed, has now been charged with second-degree murder, something the neighbors say left them with an uneasy feeling and unnecessary commotion in the neighborhood.
Freaked me out a little bit because nothing really happens that major around here.
Biggest thing, as you can see right here, we've had close to 300 cars in the last 24 hours. The neighbors were sick of it.
After speaking with some people in the area, the suspect is believed to have been living with the son of the victim. Jamison Reed is being held in the Grundy County Jail without bond. An injury accident north of St. Joseph left traffic stalled on northbound Interstate 29 earlier today. The accident happened near the Andrew Holt County line. 45-year-old Timothy Hagan of Kansas City was taken by LifeNet helicopter to Heartland Hospital with serious injuries. A passenger was taken to Heartland by ambulance with moderate injuries. The Missouri State Highway Patrol says Hagan drove off the interstate and hit a bridge pillar. No update on the men's condition was available. And this was the scene on Frederick near I-29 last night. St. Joseph police say 2 people were thrown from a motorcycle after the bike struck a car. Both of the riders were taken to Heartland Hospital. Police say the hospital trip was more of a precaution and their injuries were not believed to be serious. The accident happened after the driver of a car failed to see the motorcycle and made a left-hand turn in front of it. One woman's bikini was apparently too revealing for a Kansas City area water park, but she's saying it wasn't what she was wearing, but who was in it that got her booted out of the park. Lindsay Janis has the story. The American Angus Association's headquarters is right here in St. Joseph, and the Beef Association brought its junior members together for a nationwide cook-off like no other. KQ2's Bob Cervera reports from Kansas City, Missouri. 32 teams participated in this year's cook-off. The winning team will be announced Wednesday. Sharing life experiences can nurture the soul, according to Community of Christ's Abundant Life Center. The St. Joseph Church aims to bridge generational gaps through worship and a cinema night. They call it intergenerational service and say it benefits both children and adults. They combine their traditional and contemporary services for the months of July and August to build community. Cinema night started today and uses popular movies like Finding Nemo to spark discussion about scripture. The victims of yesterday's Asiana plane crash have been identified. Some of the more than 300 survivors are talking about the humbling moment coming up, what they have to say about the crash. And later, too much cell phone use could be bad for your health. Smartphones aren't living up to their names. Why you might want to download some brain games later tonight. A California coroner has identified the 2 victims from yesterday's plane crash in San Francisco. Both were 16-year-old girls visiting from China. But tonight, the story is the miraculous survivor of more than 300 people on the plane. Timon Broadley is in San Francisco. And Phoenix fire crews helped the town of Prescott, Arizona and surrounding communities as they deal with the tragedy. 19 white hearses carried members of the Granite Mountain Hot Shots team to a public memorial on Sunday. The Phoenix Fire Department provided escort vehicles from the medical examiner's office on a 100-mile procession to Prescott. The public paid their respects to the fallen heroes killed last Sunday when the wildfire took a sudden turn. Seems like compared to last year, it's way more comfortable than low 100s.
You're exactly right. Last year, it was in the low 100s, and it felt even hotter than that. So.
On top of a lack of rain, so
that's right.
Made it difficult. All right, thanks very much. Coming up next on your Hometown News at 10, technology might be working against us. Results from a new study that, if true, may be hard to remember. And a local golfer stands alone at Fairview Country Club after a win today. Stay with us. There may be something to that old saying that TV rots your brain after all. A study out of South Korea says technology might be limiting our short-term memories. Matt Markovich reports on the effects smartphones and video games have on the brain. Welcome back, and it sounds like we're in for a hot week ahead with maybe a little rainfall.
That's right. Watch out for Tuesday. Even though we do have a 30% chance of rain, it's not going to make it feel any cooler outside. It's actually going to make it feel more like 101 degrees.
Humidity. It's going to bring on those hot, humid Missouri summers, I see.
That's right.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning in tonight, and we'll be right back here next weekend.